Hey guys, welcome to another video. If this is the first video that you're watching, make sure to check the other ones. This is part of the series 12 Days of Christmas Cookies. Today's recipe is Rudolph cookies. These cookies are super easy to do. You just need a couple of M&Ms, some sugar base that I'm going to show you how to do. And these are really fun to do with kids. But if you're not a kid, it's still good for you to try. So we're going to go through this step by step, and I'm going to explain the process to you. So stay tuned and I'll show you how I do it.
So for the first step, we are going to use our standing mixer, and we're going to add 1 stick of butter with half a cup of granulated sugar. And as usual, the full recipe and quantities will be available in the description box down below. We're going to cream our butter and sugar until it's nice and fluffy. Make sure that the butter that you're using is unsalted. You can add your sugar all at once or divide it in 2 parts. And because we don't want to make a mess, we're going to start at the lowest speed and then build it up to a higher one. Another important detail is that the butter has to be at room temperature. If it's cold and you want to use it right away, you can always pop it in the microwave for about 20 seconds. So now we're going to stop and we're going to scrape the sides just to incorporate every single little piece of butter that hasn't been integrated to the dough. Make sure to scrape the bottom as well. So we're going to mix it for about a minute or 2 more, and then we are going to move to the next step. I'm going to add 1 egg. This is a large egg that is at room temperature. Another important detail in pastry is that whenever a recipe asks for eggs, they usually are referring to large eggs. After a minute or 2 of mixing this egg, we are going to add half a teaspoon of almond extract and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. The mixture of both of these is what's going to make our cookies taste really good. Next, we are going to reduce the speed to the minimum and add flour. We are going to use 2 cups and we will add it in 3 parts. So at this point, your dough should be looking a little bit crumbly, and that's totally okay. I'm going to add a pinch of salt just to enhance all the flavors, and I'm going to reduce the speed because our dough is ready. So your dough is ready whenever you press it between your fingers like this and it holds its shape. I am going to grab some plastic food wrap and I'm going to wrap my dough and take it to the fridge for about an hour. This will make all of our ingredients to come together, and it will be much easier to work with it after an hour in the fridge. So what I always try to do is to make a square shape with the dough and then wrap it up. That way it will be easier for me to roll it after it's cold. I'm going to press it with the palm of my hands just to take all the air out. If you don't have plastic food wrap, just use a Ziploc bag or a grocery store bag. So right after I take the dough out of the fridge, I'm going to set my oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to cover my cookie sheet with parchment paper. I like these pre-cut sheets from Kroger. They're actually really cheap and they're very convenient. So I don't want to cut it with the scissors. I've just folded into the shape, and then I make sure that all the edges are pressed really tight, and there you go. It's ready to use. In a clean countertop, dust it generously with flour. You don't want the dough to stick to it. We are going to start rolling this dough, and make sure to dust the rolling pin as well. So what you're seeing here is that I'm pressing the dough with my rolling pin instead of actual rolling it. I usually do this when the dough is very cold, and when it reach a certain amount of presses, kind of evening it out, I will start rolling it. I also rotate it just to get all the edges even as well. So if your dough starts to crack at the edges, do not panic. This happens when there's a high fat content in a dough. So the thickness we are looking for here is about 1/4 of an inch. I'm gonna use this round cutter. And if you don't have one, you can use a shot glass or a glass or anything that has a circular shape. Just be sure to clean it really well before you start using it. I will start cutting my shapes and placing them in my cookie sheet. One of my cookies stuck to the surface, so I'm just gonna use the spatula. If you don't have one, just use a knife. When you place your cookies into the tray, do not crowd them too close together. Just leave about 1/2 inch or an inch in between. I will bake these cookies for exactly 9 minutes. They won't be golden brown, but that's what we need, a slightly underbaked cookie. So for the nose, we are going to use a few M&Ms, and I have a bag of milk chocolate and hazelnut, and I'm glad I grabbed 2 bags because the first one only had 2, and the hazelnut spread one, which is the newest one. And luckily that one had more, otherwise it would have been a disaster. So for the horn designs and the eyes, and to actually stick the nose to the cookie, I'm gonna use some melted chocolate. And if you want to know how I do it, go check out the first video of this series and you will see how I do it. So I have here a disposable pastry bag, which I will be filling with the melted chocolate. You can do this with a Ziploc bag, and I put it inside a glass just to help me out to pour everything on it. And I will twist it in the top and clip it so the contents will remain inside the pastry bag. So after 9 minutes, my cookies are ready. We will place them on the side and let them cool for about 10 minutes. So now we're ready to decorate, and I'm gonna cut the tip of the pastry bag. And before I start piping, I always try it first on a paper towel, just to check that I cut the tip of the bag at the right point. So for the first step, I'm gonna make a big dot of chocolate and place one of the M&Ms on top. And now we have a nose. Now for the eyes, I place 2 tiny dots above the chocolate M&M. And you can make them as big as you want to. I just wanted to go for like a more of a dainty design, but you feel free to do whatever you want. Now for the horns, I will do a line towards the side and little branches coming out of the center. These cookies are so fun to decorate. You can include your little ones. They will have lots of good times decorating these cookies.
So there you have it, the reindeer cookie recipe. It's so simple. You guys can try any design at home. This is just a suggestion. Make sure to check the other videos that I have. I have more videos of cookies coming, so make sure you don't miss those. And if you like this video, don't forget, go down below, give me a like, leave me a comment, and subscribe to my channel. Until next time, bye.